Hi friends, my name is Sydney and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'll be decorating the entrance here on Biscuit. This is my fall themed island. I'm hoping that it'll give off those cozy, yet spooky vibes that Over the Garden Wall has. The water terraforming was inspired by Vicky's entrance on her island, Dahlia. I'll link her Instagram and Twitter down below. I also stream games on Twitch, as well as post on Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr. So if you're interested, I'll link those down below as well. Now, let's get started on the build. As I mentioned at the beginning, the water terraforming was already done before I started this build. And I also did the trees, the weeds, and the flowers too, to kind of lay down the foundation of nature, you know, kind of taking over. But also, my Animal Crossing decorating process is very unorganized, and that makes editing really hard. So I decided to get that out of the way first, and with that done, I can now start laying down my paths to kind of get an idea of the flow of how I want people to walk around my island. I always start with the entrance on my islands, and this time around, I wanted to participate in the house by the entrance trend. I decided Nan was a perfect fit for the aesthetic, and her house also reminds me of the woodsman's house. Of course, I'm not trying to perfectly recreate scenes from the show, but using those as inspiration does add to the atmosphere. There are two things I keep in mind while building and path laying. The first was to open the camera app periodically to see how the space was looking from different angles. I learned this tip from Shannen, aka Kyuubi Crossing, here on YouTube. I highly recommend you check out her videos. They're pretty inspiring. The second was how the paths float and physically are laid down by the mechanics of the game. I learned that from Caito's video on how to use the path, which was super helpful. I recommend you give it a watch if you're having trouble with your paths. What I'm doing here is making a walking path and then filling in spaces with that leaf code. Codes for things like leaves and flowers are a really good way to have your island feel more natural if that's what you're going for. Check the description if you'd like to find the creator codes for the codes I use in this build. Now, I'm grabbing items from the ones I set aside to start building the mini graveyard in front of Nan's house. I like to place fencing right at the front of my entrance to essentially create a barrier between the airport and the entrance itself. If you've seen Over the Garden Wall, you'll recognize the stump area as a small little reference. If you haven't seen Over the Garden Wall, what are you doing with your life? Go watch it right now. It is autumnal perfection. I'm done with that side of the bridge for now, and I move on to the other side and think about how I want the space in front of my resident services to look. I decided to go for a fall festival kind of look, since it's perfect for resident services. RS is kind of like a community center that would run that kind of thing anyway. We're taking a moment to recognize that Kiki's being kind of rude right now. And also, you didn't hear it from me, but I think she has fleas. Normally, I try to hide resident services. Myself and others tend to cover it with cliffs or lots of trees. But I wanted to try something new this time around and almost incorporate it into the build. It's a little refreshing to be able to see it. I'll stop talking for now and let you watch me decorate. I'll be back in just a little while to explain further. Fall is the time for pumpkin carving, so of course Biscuit needs a little area for that. I'm living for this item combination and the picnic blanket codes underneath. It's too warm for me to be doing this kind of thing in real life, so my island is the perfect way for me to get to experience fall festivities right now. As you can see here, I'm having a really hard time placing these items down. What I try to do is layer things in either pairs or groups of 3 or more. I've learned our minds like to see things in sets of 3, which is why telephone numbers are usually written out as 3 numbers and then the dash thing to separate them. I don't entirely know the science behind that, so please don't quote me on it. All I know is that thinking about that helps me layer items on top of one another to add a sense of realism to my builds. That, and I tend to keep the taller items in the back so that they aren't covering up anything except maybe grass or empty sky in pictures. Honestly, I'm almost done here. As you've probably seen as the video has gone on, I like to run back and forth just to make sure I like how everything looks when I'm in motion as much as I do when it's still. I think Nan's yard needs some more pumpkin items on the right side, so I'm gonna go grab some things for my storage. I'm gonna mess around and see what I come up with to fill that empty spot. I grabbed the Scarecrow since it's tall and could fill the space easily, with a spooky lantern in front of it. However, now that I can see it, I don't really like it. So, I'm gonna craft one of those new trick lanterns from the most recent update. Those are interactable, by the way, so try facing it forward and pressing A to interact with it. I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't realize I could have it so close to her house as well, so that made me even more excited to use it. I finished decorating. To show off the finished product, we have the most perfect starting screen, starring our cute little goat, and some spooky music for ambiance. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of my first video. I hope you enjoyed decorating with me. If you'd like to see more from me when I upload again, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to know when my next one comes out. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I can't wait to hang out again. Bye!